everyone, today we are going to be colouring another picture from this page from Rita Berman's Europa book, the pasta. So let's come in closer while I just remind you that we're using the Castle Arts soft touch pencils. There we go. Yes, and I'm just looking at all the pastas here. We have macaroni, we have the orzo, we have twists and penne, and the shells and the bow ties, and spaghetti. I can't name shells and bow tie, they probably have proper names, and the twist, but anyway. So this is good. Now, I don't want to do them all the same colour, because I think that will be a little bit samey. But I am quite limited in the colours that I actually have with regards to matching it to a pasta. So I'm going to start with the white pastas. Now I am thinking the orzo. Now orzo is I've never seen a wholemeal, so we're going to do it as if it's a white pasta. And I'm just having a look. I'm thinking the Naples yellow light is a really pale yellow, creamy yellow. It might be the right colour. I mean, it depends whether the pasta is cooked or uncooked, of course. I'm just going to sharpen this because once it's cooked it goes a bit paler. Now I'm thinking with the spaghetti that we can see being all curled round, it's obviously cooked because, oh excuse me, I've got hiccups. The dry spaghetti wouldn't do that. So let's have a go at just doing the orzo quite pale. I'm thinking some of them we could do as wholemeal and as, you know, brownish, oh excuse me, hiccups, brownish tone. They're quite quiet, my hiccups, they're just making my whole chest go, it's not hurting luckily, it's just a bit strange. So anyway, we could do some whole grain, we could do some of the sort of spinachy ones, or doesn't really show up that, does it? But once we do a background, you'll hopefully see there's some colour. Yeah, there's red, you can get red pastas, can't you, with the beetroot or with peppers, things like that. So we'll do a bit of a variety of colours. I have had a tricolor one which had 3 colours across a bow, which was lovely, but I won't try and do that. I think that's going to be slightly beyond me today. Now I want the macaroni pieces in a slightly darker yellow. I'm thinking the primrose yellow might just work for us. Slightly darker, I'll give it a sharpen. It wouldn't necessarily be a different colour, but I think why not, you know, let's just try some different colours. And you might think, actually I don't like X colour, I like Y colour, so you might pick one of the ones that I've used and decide to use it for everything, for example. So you can see this is a little bit darker than the colour we used for the orzo, so you might prefer it. Put a bit more in here, there'd be some shadow in there. I think that's what these lines that Rita's drawn in are trying to tell us. He bought some interesting pasta shapes the other day. We had shells, but they had a sort of extra bit on. And we had, they were like a pen almost, but they had a twist in and they were long. They were quite interesting as well. So that was a bit of fun. Because getting wholemeal pasta, which I always have whole grain, is quite difficult. And so I'm just seeing if I've done all of those. Yes. So I was lucky enough to ask in a local deli. She does a lot of Italian type stuff, food, not stuff. Raw umber. I'm going to try this for the whole grain. Which one should we do? Whole grain. Let's do the spaghetti. So I'm going to do it really lightly because this is quite an intense colour. And then I might put another colour on top. So yes, you got in some different ones for me. which was nice. There we go. So yeah, we tried these different ones. The one that was like a shell, my son preferred. The other one, he wasn't so keen on the other shape, but he's always preferred a shell pasta anyway. But for me, I just found it interesting to have some different ones. I think this doesn't look too bad. It's maybe a little bit slightly too orange and slightly too dark. But I'm gonna use the primrose on top. Oh, my son's just sent me a message. Hang on. Oh dear. He just sent me a message going A about a million times, where he was frustrated. He does find his lessons a little bit frustrating. Sometimes the tutor isn't quite explaining it correctly, or is going too slowly, or sets them something to do and then just waits for hours for it to be done, that sort of thing. This has brightened it more, which wasn't actually what I wanted to achieve, but there we go. I'm going to leave it there. Now I'm thinking of a sort of spinachy colour. I'm going to look at the cadmium green pale. Is that it? Yeah. Put a little bit on. I'm going to do it on the bow and just see what happens. I see what happens as if, what am I expecting? Is it going to do a little dance? Sorry, silly mood today. Now I'm trying to think how green they are. They're usually quite intensely green, so I'm going to add a bit more. It looks a bit yellowy. I think I picked a dull colour because I wasn't very confident, but now I'm trying to think about green pasta. I'm thinking it could be quite dark. There we go. Now I have seen a really yellowy coloured pasta which is made of corn for celiacs, and so I'm going to try and do one of them that colour. I'm just looking at my colours. Cadmium yellow or cadmium yellow deep. I think cadmium yellow deep might do it. It's very, very intensely yellow. I'm going to put it on lightly to start with though. Oh, just fidgeting in my seat. I've got my new boots on, which came in the last video. I'm recording this one straight after, and I'm trying them out. I think they're going to be okay, but I've got them laced up and on. They're very loose on the back, they slip on the heel, but they're a little bit tight on the width, which is very typical of my feet. So I'm just going to sharpen this and put in a few details. Don't have to. I'm thinking it'd be a bit darker under there, and in there, in between these sorts of twists, and at the bottom a bit darker. My son said he's not stressed about his lesson. He's just really stressed for no reason. Poor boy. Can't really help him, which is horrible. Right, a red one. beetrooty colour. Spice red, aubergine. I'm thinking aubergine might be the way to go. There it is. Oof. Long way away, have to reach right over the desk. I'm going to try it lightly. It's quite vibrant, so I don't want to go too mad. Thinking it'd be a little bit darker, maybe under this bit. And under here. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted thinking about my poor boy. Just trying to think if I can help him. And I'm thinking a tomato-y colour one. I'm just trying to decide whether to go like a terracotta. Where's my terracotta swatch? Can't even find it. I'm going a bit bonkers here trying to find it. Oh, there it is. Maybe I do a little bit of terracotta and then a bit of orange. I'm also trying to think about what colour background I would do on this. So you can see this is a sort of brownish orange, slightly muted. I think it's quite good actually. I think we'd have a bit of a darker bit inside the shell there. A bit lighter there maybe. Yeah. Now I'm just going to go over that with something. I don't want anything too bright. Maybe the cadmium orange light will help us out again. We'll use the train horn, very loud. Cadmium orange light. Just pop it over the top. Might be more than necessary. There we go. Okay, I'm looking at these and just trying to think about the colours. I'm alright with them. I'm going to leave it like that. But I've got to think of a background. Now, I'm wondering about a reddish colour to pick out these two colours, and I think it will go with everything else, but nothing too... But I don't want a pinky red, I don't think. That's maybe a bit too close to red. Yeah, I know what I'm going to do. Do the Venetian red in the corners. So just here, where the dots are, and then just start to gently fade it like that. And then the same here. Fade it up. Hit that little dog barking again. Quite a big dog, actually. The same here. Just gently fade it in. I'm trying to debate whether to, I need to go to the poster box and really to the supermarket. I'm trying to debate whether to go in these shoes, my new boots, or not. This was a bit of a gamble. What colour did I say? I was going to do the peach. Let's have a find it. Because I haven't really worn them in at home very much yet. And they're bound to rub my feet and give me blisters, because they always do. New shoes, all new shoes. I've never had a pair of new shoes that hasn't. I think, Trying to think, have I ever had a new pair of shoes that hasn't given me blisters? Maybe a pair of flip-flops that, not the thong ones that go between the toes. Those, I had a pair of those. Oh my, the blisters I got from those were horrendous. Not those. The pair that you just slip your feet into, those type. I think I had a pair of those as a child and they didn't give me blisters. And I don't think my childhood shoes did, but adult shoes, every single pair. So, yeah. Really, yeah. So it's not nice, but it's just one of those things of having weird shaped feet, I guess. My feet are a little bit abnormally wide, I think, with a high instep, and my heel really sticks out as well. So my heel rubs the back of a shoe, and but you know, I know that I can wear these in a bit quicker than some Doc Martens. My very first pair of Doc Martens I did actually buy a size smaller than my shoe size because that's what I was advised to do. And so they were a little bit tight, and I actually got a callus from them because they were so tight, and they were vegan, so they didn't stretch as well as leather ones do. And it took me 2 years to wear them in. I didn't wear them all the time, and I remember wearing them to uni, and it was a sort of 45-minute walk, maybe, something like that. And by the time I got to uni, I felt like someone was trying to drive a nail into the back of my heel. It was not pleasant. So I've tried to keep that light, but it's not very neat, and actually it doesn't really show up very much on camera. I'm going to do another layer, just tidy it up a little bit. It's quite hard to get it even when you've got so many little things that you're colouring around, but do my best. Yes, so it was yes, it was quite an experience. So I got to uni and bought some plasters. But now I always carry plasters, having children. You know, I know my children are 18 and they're hardly ever with me, but carrying plasters is quite a useful thing. In fact, my mum still carries plasters with her. You know, maybe it's just a mum thing, but so if I do get sore, I can put some on. But and if I go out on a dry day, I can do it. There's a bench outside the shop. I could do it, or I could go in the cafe in the shop and do it. But that's a bit public. People might not want to see my feet while they're drinking their coffee. So I think it might be better to do it outside. I don't think I would like that very much, personally. Especially if there was a blister. Ooh. Anyway, right, there we go. Now the orzo looks like I haven't coloured it at all, but I have, and I don't want it any darker than that. So if you feel on your picture it looks a bit pale, then do by all means add some extra colour. But I really do think that pastas and things aren't that intensely coloured, so I'm quite happy with that colour range on that particular picture, even though it doesn't look that bright. I mean, you could just go, so do it non-pastery colours however you wish, and then, you know, you could just go mad and do all sorts of colours. But that's how I've done it. So, oh, tomorrow we've got a strawberry and lots of pretty flowers to colour. But for today, thank you for watching. Yeah, I hope you have a really super day and happy colouring.